It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever adventuring through the rainforest at the Butterfly Palace. And Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And it is Tuesday, and here we are. I got a little rain last night, most of you, I think, so we'll start out a little soggy this morning, but here we are nevertheless.
All right, here's some news for you. A Republic man is being treated for an injury that he suffered when he was hit by a boat propeller at Table Rock Lake over the weekend. 41 years old, he was apparently wakeboarding and fell. Then he was trying to get back onto the boat, got hit by the propeller. He was airlifted to a Springfield hospital. An Arkansas man, meanwhile, is in the Wright County Jail in Missouri after leading police on quite the chase, sometimes driving on the wrong side of the highway. The 37-year-old told police that people in Arkansas were trying to kill him. He also told an officer that he thought the officer wasn't real. The man was eventually stopped by a Wright County sheriff's deputy who did a pit maneuver and got him. The man admitted to using meth, and he is now facing several charges in that case.
That's crazy. That was actually the sheriff himself that did the pit maneuver and stopped him. But it was a wild police chase with a guy who's, mentally unfit. It sounds like at least he was during this.
There was a police chase on Saturday morning as well that Caroline and I were eyewitnesses to. That was like multiple counties. I read about it, but there wasn't a ton of information yet online. So anyway, though, it was really wild because there were I bet there were 15 Greene County deputies, but he had come from the east on 60, and it was really crazy because I was like, man, they are for sure in pursuit of that guy. It was early though. It was like 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild.
It's scary because, innocent people can be caught in that. So I understand trying to stop them, and you got to stop the guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Another Republican has entered the race for governor in the state of Missouri. State Senator Bill Eigel from St. Charles County calls himself a diehard conservative Republican, says both parties have failed us. He'd like to see the state get rid of the income tax, like the overall income tax for the state. Many other states have already done that, as well as personal property taxes. He joins Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe and Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft now in the race as politics is beginning to heat up a little bit. Branson, meanwhile, is focusing on hotels and motels that are not complying with city code. The city has identified several lodging establishments, they call them, that don't follow permitting and licensing rules. Some of the issues have been long-time issues, but Branson says this is a new focus on them and some coordination that will help among government entities that will give the city a united front to crack down on them. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the future is now. This is kind of crazy. Tyson Foods is planning to send out self-driving refrigerated trucks for deliveries. Right now, they will only be driving in Northwest Arkansas. The robots driving them will allow them to be on the roads for 18 hours per day. And Tyson cited them as an answer to the nationwide driver shortage. At the beginning, a human driver will be in the cab to monitor the truck and take control if needed.
That's crazy. Eventually they won't be needed.
Yeah, that's really, really wild. I cannot fathom how that could be safe at all. Only because my sister got a new car like maybe a year ago, and I had to drive it home from Branson for her on an occasion, and it like has all the correcting. I don't know, like it somewhat drives for you, I guess. Like if you are cutting a corner or going over a line, I don't know, just it was honestly, it was disconcerting, and I felt like, I'm paying close attention. Like, let me be the one, because I just don't trust it. I don't know. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I think you can turn off some of those features. I had the same. My first experience was when I was down at the hurricane down in Florida, the Tallahassee area for Hurricane Idalia, we rented a car. My photographer and I rented a car so that we could drive to places that the whole convoy couldn't get to. And it was one of those that would tell you that you're drifting, or uh, you could even if you had it on cruise control, the wheel would drive for you. But like, it was obnoxious because either here's what I say: either do it or don't, because every 30 seconds or less, it would like beep and tell me to touch the wheel. So then I had to get the wheel and go, like, just jerk the wheel a little bit to let it.
Yeah.
I'm still there. So what's the whole point of that if you can't
I don't.
drive? And it was doing a fine job, but there was one time that we were coming up behind a car and it almost like slams on the brakes, which is overly dramatic.
Right.
There's plenty of room, but it doesn't know that I know there's plenty of room. And if there's people behind you, that was my concern with, what if somebody's behind me? It just slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, it's strange. And our cars are old enough that they don't have any of those features, but maybe once you get used to them, I don't know. So maybe someday we're all going to be used to the robots driving around on the road.
Well, like it or
And we're
not,
just going
it's
to be,
coming, and you'll have to get used to it because our robot overlords will not let you say anything.
yeah, good luck. All right. Well, you may or may not know this. I did not know this, but the national nonprofit Fight Colorectal Cancer is located in Springfield. Who knew? It just wrapped up its biggest annual mountain climbing fundraiser. Climb for a Cure is what it's called. And this year they raised more than $200,000, bringing its total for the milestone amount of $1 million over the last 8 years. Fight Colorectal Cancer moved its headquarters from Virginia to Springfield 7 years ago.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad they're in town. Good to
I
have
know
them
it's
here.
cool. I did not know that they had a Springfield address, so that's pretty
Yep.
cool. Good for
Well,
them.
awareness about colorectal cancer is important, so good for them. This is good for the Chiefs and Chiefs fans. The standoff appears to be over. All pro defensive tackle Chris Jones signed a contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Comes just days, of course. The wound may be too fresh. This may be too soon. But it comes just days after the Chiefs lost their season opener, the defending champs. Jones did not play in that game against the Detroit Lions, nor did he report to Chiefs training camp in July, as all fans know very well. He did sign just a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, so we could be reliving all of this 1 year from now.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, the Chiefs are hopeful that all-pro tight end Travis Kelce will be back on the field when they play in Jacksonville on Sunday. Kelce hyperextended his knee in practice leading up to last Thursday's game. The Chiefs made him inactive for that game, but they're now hopeful that he'll be ready to take the field on Sunday. Chiefs are 1-0, or 0-1.
No.
Yikes. 0-1 on the season, as I was talking about. And if they get Jones and Kelce back, it's a done deal, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I know.
They're gonna win.
I'm hopeful as well.
They
So
could
we shall
they
see.
certainly could have used Kelce in the last game.
All right. Speaking of sports, the lineup for the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions has changed again. Rainier Beach High School from Seattle is replacing Cardinal Hayes from New York in the Showcase Tournament. The Tournament of Champions can adjust the field of teams that are invited if they want to, contractually, if you will, if the star players transfer to a different school district. They have that liberty to do that. And that is what happened. This is the second time, in fact, that this lineup has changed because of some of the key players transferring school districts. So the tournament is now set for January 11th through 13th, and it is always a great time.
Yeah, it's interesting now. These players, I mean, it's all over. It's college now, and it's even high school sports. The players from year to year go to the highest bidder, basically. So I don't like it.
I
But
don't like it either. And didn't Chris Jones and I don't know the process like many super fans do. I'm not one, but I do feel like I learned a thing or two from just watching Albert Pujols. You know, right?
make the poor decision of leaving St. Louis for money.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But is there a parallel there? I mean, I know it's two different sports, two different people, two different contracts, but I mean, I think that he
Well,
would
I mean,
say, "I miss the Cardinals. I wish I wouldn't have gone."
well, yeah, the Cardinals were competitors. I mean, World Series competitors at the time. They're not anymore. But he got traded to the Angels, who I think made the playoffs one time in the 10 years he was there. So, you get traded to a crappy team, but you trade that in for money, which, you get to a certain number of million and you don't notice an extra 10 or 20 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
That was
wild.
his deal. He was making so much money that between what the Cardinals were paying him to what the Angels were paying him, it was a big difference. But I don't know that it mattered in his life. He could still
Yeah.
buy the best of everything. So,
Yeah,
but he
I'm
did trade
sad
in.
for Chris Jones to only sign a 1 year, honestly. That's disappointing.
Well, and that would be the same thing if he left because he's on a contender now. He's on the defending champion, and they're going to have another great year. Anyway, it's all about money. To me, there's something to be said about loyalty. Now, I'm also not turning down a $50 million pay increase. I would take that. Whoever, any TV station in town, if they want to give me a $50 million pay increase, I will go there.
You're
I
in.
don't care
You
how
guess
terrible
so.
they
I
are.
guess so.
I don't care how terrible they are.
All
Anyway,
right. This is
uh,
you.
a long lost piece of movie history is going on the auction block. This is a wild story. A model of an X-Wing fighter from the original Star Wars movie is going up for sale. Starting bid $400,000. Listen to this. It's just a small model because, and it's so valuable because it's actually what George Lucas used to create the space scenes in the original movie, way back before there was any kind of computer graphics to create them. So he used little models and he used camera tricks to make it look like a space fight. And this one of these models is one that was actually used in the movie. It's super cool. No one knew they were missing that, or no one knew where the missing X-wing was until some friends of a guy were going through the belongings of an avid collector who passed away last year. The guy also happens to be a model builder and is like nominated for an Oscar during his life for something else completely. So, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I think. Anyway, they found it at his house in a cardboard box. They opened it up and they found that is the missing X-wing because there are only 4 of these things that were used for close-ups during the original Star Wars. So they knew that one of them was missing. This dude had it, and now it's going up for auction because he has passed for at least $400,000.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, and you got to think about how revolutionary it was whenever
It
there were
was.
not computers to make computer graphic.
If you've ever seen, even if you don't like Star Wars, just watching the documentary about how it was made is incredible.
Yeah, I believe that, and I love a good documentary, even though I can't tell my husband, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, I will watch the documentary all day long. I like a good documentary on anything. It doesn't even matter the topic, honestly. If it's true story, I'm in.
Then we'll
All
watch
right.
it.
If you love books, listen up. This is for you. This week is the big fall Friends of the Library book sale. Always popular. It starts tomorrow, goes through Sunday at the E-Plex, which is at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. The hours are 10 to 8 tomorrow through Friday. And then on Saturday, it's 10 to 5. And on Sunday, it's 1 to 5. So check it out. Friends of the Library book sale. Also, it's a big weekend for bull riding at Thunder Ridge Natural Amphitheater in Ridgedale. The Missouri Thunder bull riding team is hosting its second annual PBR Thunder Days competition Friday through Sunday. If you want to get tickets, check them out at pbr.com or ticketmaster.com.
Man, that'll be a great weekend to go to that. It's going to be like 70s. That's
Yeah,
nice. The
it's
PBR is incredible. If you've never seen it, it's intense.
I
Those guys
have
are good.
seen it. It's intense, it's good, and it's a little bit stressful.
Yeah.
A little bit like um is this going to remain PG rated? Because you don't know what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
it's scary. So,
It's like any kind of racing. Same deal. Car racing,
right,
NASCAR.
yeah. Even Tour de France.
Yep.
Oh, Tour de France. It's hard to watch. I'm telling you.
It's true. They got that documentary. Speaking of documentaries, they've got a documentary on that. I mean, it's a series on the Tour de France on Netflix.
Yep. Just living the dream, Tour de France.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Have a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. And enjoy the day. Enjoy the fall-like temperatures out there.
Yeah, a lot of rain last night. More rain possible today. You can check out Abby's Wake Up Weather forecast right where you get this podcast. So check it out and have a great day. See you tomorrow.